as the days become shorter and the nights get longer, a whole new world is opened up for the photographer: night photography. As the nights get longer and colder and wetter, it's so easy not to go out with your camera, but if you do, you open up a whole new world of photography. I've come out to the centre of Lincoln in the hope to take some night photos and to show you my process for doing that. For this first image, I've come to one of Lincoln's honeypot locations, a view of the cathedral reflecting in the water of the Brayford Pool. There are a few really nice locations in Lincoln, and this location with the cathedral reflecting on Brayford Pool is one that I will attempt to photograph and just go through the settings that I use. For this first shot of the cathedral, I've gone fully manual. I'm using f8 so that I can get as much focus on the water as I can, and the reading has given me 2.5 seconds exposure. I've got the camera on a tripod, and I think for nighttime photography it's almost a must to have a tripod because of the long exposure time. I'm keeping the ISO at 100 as low as it possibly can go so that I reduce the amount of noise in the shot. On this camera, which is the Canon 400D, which I did my previous video about, it has a self timer that is 12 seconds. Many cameras these days offer you a 2-second self timer. Unfortunately, this one has a 12-second timer, so I'm just going to have to work with the 12 seconds of timer. So I'm going to take this shot now, and I'll show you what this shot looks like when I've taken it. That's the timer started. 2.5 seconds later, and I can see the image on the back of the screen. I'm out at the University of Lincoln campus, and I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to be videoing here, if it's allowed, because it is private land. But I've definitely taken lots of photos from this location. I know lots of other Lincoln photographers have used this location for photography, so it is a good place to come. It's probably the most modern part of the city centre, and that's why it's a mecca for photographers in this area. I always try to set the ISO to its lowest level to reduce the noise that you get on your photo. And I also try to get a balanced light, because if I overexpose the image, I'll get too much light, and if I underexpose the image, I'll get too much noise. So I try to make the exposure as spot on as I can. For this shot, I've come to the university where all the modern buildings are, and I really like the fact that we've got all these leading lines, the light that's leading you into the photo, and I really like the light that's reflected on the side of this window. I think it's really good. It'll make a nice photo. I have taken this picture before, and I know it's a good one, and I'm not sure whether to leave this in colour or to change it to black and white, and I'll put this up after I've taken the shot, and you can decide what you like best. Once again, for this shot I'm on manual. I have gone 2 seconds on this one, f8 again because I want a consistent focus. I'm going portrait orientation for this picture because I think it works better with the long leading lines, and ISO 100. So I will take this shot, 12-second timer unfortunately, and I'll show you the image. I think night photography is probably a lot easier than you think, and the key to it is to set your camera to manual, use long exposures, and most importantly, use a tripod. If you have all these things, it's quite simple to take a night shot or 2 or 10, and before you know it, you'll be really confident at getting night shots. Yeah, to get the best out of night photography, you've really got to put your camera in manual mode. You've really got to master the settings on your camera and know how to change them. So you might want to know how to change your ISO easily, your shutter speed, and your aperture, because they're all the 3 things that are going to help you get the best night shots. Generally, night photography is based on long exposures, so you're going to need a tripod. You cannot get away from it unless you use a chair or a bin or a fence. In some cases, you can prop your camera up onto things, but you've really got to hold the camera super steady to do those long exposures. This one's another really nice image that Lincoln photographers often take of this tunnel underneath the road that the students use to walk from their accommodation to the student halls. I'm using the 12-second shutter release to try to minimise any camera shake that I have if I would press the shutter button with my finger, because undoubtedly with my clumsy hands I'm bound to make the camera move. Because of the wideness of this tunnel, I'm using landscape orientation. I have wanted to set a nighttime photography challenge for Instagram, but I've always been wary of it because I've never really wanted to ask ladies to go out at night and take photos. And there's always that temptation of going out on your own and obviously come into some trouble. It's a sad world but that's just reality. But maybe it depends on what. Let me know what you think if you'd like to do a nighttime photography challenge, and if you feel safe and comfortable to do so. Let me know in the comments. For those of you who have watched my last video, and you might know that I've got my hands on a Canon 400D, and I'm using this camera to take these night shots for a couple of reasons. One, to give it a test, to try it out and to show you what you can do with this camera at night, especially with the limited ISO that it has. And also, in truth, I'm recording this video on my Olympus camera, which is helpful because it gives me another camera to record the videos on. So that's why. So all the shots you see from tonight's video are taken on this Canon 400D, which has a maximum ISO of 1600, and it's only 10 megapixels or 10.1 megapixels. So it'll be really interesting to see how these pictures come out and if they compare to the other photos that I've taken with my Olympus camera. For this next shot, I found this wall on this modern building at the university, and I'm hoping to use the lines of the cinder blocks to lead my eye all the way down through the photo. Here's another shot I've taken before, but on the previous occasion I was here, it had rained and the ground was wet, and reflections on this bridge were quite something special. To take this image now, and I'll let you know how it comes out. The challenge with this bridge is that it moves, and it's going to shake my camera even though I'm on a tripod, which is a bit of a shame. Thank you very much for watching indeed, and I really hope that you enjoy taking night photography. If you've done any recently, please let me know. Share the pictures on Instagram, tag me maybe, and I'll have a look and I'll give them a like, and yeah, hopefully let's see what your pictures are like. If you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see, I'll be really pleased if you'd give the picture a like, of course. I say that every time. Or if you really feel like it, you could subscribe. It's completely free, it's super easy, you can just press the button, and I'd like to see you on the other side. So thank you very much for watching, thanks very much indeed, and good luck with your night photography.